Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Shark Charts. We're going to talk about Bitcoin today. We're going to talk about Ethereum. We're going to talk about all the charts. Should probably come up with like a more consistent intro here, other than just saying hi. Anyway, here we are. Going to talk about Bitcoin, and let's actually talk about what we went over last night, because there is something I need to do. I forgot to actually call TRX. So we went over on yesterday's live stream on how bullish it looked.
Welcome.
Oh shit.
To another episode.
I left the YouTube video open. Okay. That scared the shit out of me. Okay. Yes, as with yesterday's live stream, this condition right here, okay, re-entering the 200 band implies mean reversion to the 200 mean. And the actual signal for that is going to be a 20-period CCI rolling to the upside. Now, this chart is fine and dandy, but there's no signal for a long position yet. So anything else we're going to talk about as far as long positions today are going to be very tentative because the conditions are there, but the signal is not. Okay? If we strictly talk about this in terms of our CCI strategy without even considering readings of mass, this right here would be a reshort entry, this downward swinging right there. So be very careful with anything you decide to do here. I'm going to pull up the comment section here because the conditions are there. Excellent. No comments yet. I need you guys to give me some altcoins to talk about. Thank you. Why the 20 period? Yeah, it's strictly for risk management. You want to use a 10th period of the CCI whenever you're doing mass-based plays, and that's strictly my personal risk management, okay? This is how I identify the signal, okay? The condition is potential reversion, but the signal is going to be a 1/10th period rolling up. So 20 period CCI, and I don't have that loaded up on this chart quite yet. Let's actually talk about TRX because I forgot to make the trade call last night. Or rather, I remembered when I was already in bed, and now we missed off on a 1% gain. Damn it all. All right, guys, we talk about entry right here. We lost about 2%. That's a bummer. Do forgive me. Yeah, guys, again, that was such a clean long position. I've got a small position myself. I had time to enter that, but I forgot to actually tell you guys about it officially with the trade call. So I guess I'll just draw on those lines now. Because, you know, you can still make this happen. It's not what I wanted to do. Okay. It's Alt-H, not Command-H. And then let's just have it above the local high so we don't actually enter anything higher than where it is. And we're going to actually allow entries down to the 250 mean. Right, because we need to adjust that. Or was it 150? Excuse me. It was 150. Okay. Oh, you know what we're going to do? I actually want to get a more accurate reading on this. And I have not set this up yet, so you're going to have to wait for me to load 3 indicators onto this chart. How exciting. Okay. We're making a new chart template. Invite only scripts. Awesome. 3D wave PM, linear 14. Perfect. I'm going to load the logarithmic versions. Okay. This will take a while. I'm just going to say that right now. So while it's doing that, I'm going to look into the comments here. I would not be surprised if this crashes TradingView. Oh. Off to a good start. Yeah, Penmighty wants me to look at GBP USD. I will deal with that definitely in a moment here. We've got one more script to compile, and then it needs to load 3 scripts. ENJ, GNO, and XRP. Yeah, I'll definitely check those out. Awesome. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited for this. This is going to be amazing. Getting the full 3D resolution of every wave PM period. It's going to take this long to load every time I do this, even if I save the chart template. Give me a second, folks. That one doesn't need to be long. And this is the first time I've actually loaded up this template, so you will need to bear with me. However, this is very exciting for me, so. And it's in the wrong order. Okay. 14 needs to be on the bottom. Ooh, what a nuisance. Okay. Well, I'm going to need to actually do this. And then move to new scale below, or existing pane below. And then, I'm gonna do it one more time. Move to new pane below. Awesome. So this information here is going to give me the most accurate wave PM reading possible. And I'm very excited, all right? Since instead of just 32 separate periods, I could not tell you how many periods we're going to look at. I'd probably count them. That'd take a while. Existing pane below. And if you're still watching this, thank you for your patience. I just thought about this and... Okay, this is the last one. New pane below. Oh my god. How exciting. Did that change my log scale? Yeah, this needs to be log. Oh. Okay, do you see what we've done? We have created the full picture. History in the making, folks. Now let's actually squash these down so it's visible. And one more. The picture is literally coming together. Like, usually that's a metaphor, but it's actually happening. We're actually piecing a picture together here. All right, do you see what I see? That is awesome. We have created a full 3D representation of the entire wave PM spectrum. All right, now let's save this as a template before I lose it. And actually, I'm going to load up one Bollinger Band on here. Now, with this, I'm going to get the most accurate results possible for the longest overexpanded period. And then we're just going to change this to a default setting. $200, 1.25. Okay, this is it. Now we're going to save this as, what should we call this template, guys? Rename. I'm going to call it the Spectrum Wave PM. All right, that took way longer than necessary. Cool. So now let's actually use this information we have been provided. Okay, first we should look at the longest connected plume. And then, of course, just the longest overexpanded period. Although, for connected plumes, that's a little bit trickier. Because we have previous overexpansions that do affect the longer periods, right? That creates the volatility overhead. So as far as this connected plume goes, yeah, that would be around 65, 70. No, 65, excuse me. But this volatility overhead does imply 135. So let's change this band to 135, see how it performs. Okay, we'll get lateral trading as defined by 135. Okay, so I guess our most immediate resistance is going to be about 389. So that might be a good short-term take profit target here on TRX. And then the stop loss, it should be below 368 for the moment, at least. Okay, back to the comments. Let's see how long you guys managed to stay with me here. Looks good. Woo. Forex, GBP, USD. Ooh, that's a bit dumpy today. Let's go ahead and minimize volume here. Let's just do an estimated bias here. Okay. Loop too long. What a nuisance. Pen, what time frame do you want me to look at? I guess I'll start in the 4 hour. No, Granny, this is what I actually sound like. I've been pitch bending my voice for half a year now. But since I'm on a new channel, new start, might as well just skip the step of processing it every time, you know? Be a bit more honest. Okay, well, if we're going to play something on this chart, we can do a long position. Obviously, it's going to have to be on a shorter time frame. Let's go 15-minute. So, ooh, okay, let's talk about the long position here. Loop too long, wave PM isn't loading. Come on. My computer is a toaster. I can cook food on it. Never mind, we have to go to the hour. Okay. Let's do 30 minute. 30 minute would be the best. Right, since you can just adjust the time frame to whatever you want, since all this data is going to be relative anyway. So might as well just get the best resolution possible. Okay, and do you remember, Pen, you're going to need to constantly adjust this period as the longer periods continue to expand until, of course, it actually starts to compress. So right now, that period is going to be 270. I'm going to say 275. Of course, we can't get the exact number on this template, but so I guess the soonest you really want to get in, it's going to be a mean that's very similar to the boundary here for the 275 period. So that means if we want to enter as soon as possible for a long position, we should change this to roughly match that pivot, right? Since we actually quite frequently see the 1.25 standard deviation of the longest over expanded band act as a pivot, right? And pivots tend to be bounced off of for continuous downward trending. So if we want to buy into the swing low of this for a quick long position, bet against the trend, we're going to need to do the following. Identify, let's do 40 for now, right? Okay, so because the mean of the 40 band is very, very close to the 1.25 standard deviation of the longest over expanded band, when we actually do end up crossing the 1.25 of the 40 band, we'd expect reversion to the 40 mean before a rejection, right? Because that will act as a pivot. Now, here's a nice thing. We could get ready to sell here if it does continue to go down, but it may very well enter here and revert fully to the longest over expanded period, and that's fine, right? But from a risk management standpoint, this pivot here is going to be our entry signal. Or that's the soonest we could enter, right? Our highest probability entry, however, is actually going to be when the 275 band is entered. So, back to Bitcoin here. And I guess we should talk about the longer time frames for a second, you know, see if there's anything significant we need to be paying attention to. We'll go to the daily here. Yeah, this is the beginning of longer term downward trending, okay? Now, of course, there are swing lows in these kinds of trends. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm really happy we checked this. This is a very strong short signal right there. Where the 14 period is crossing up above the 100 period like that, CCI weighted to the downside, this is an excellent area to be shorting. So really, I guess when we're kind of looking for this retracement on the 15-minute time frame, we should be loading up for more shorts. And if we're back on the daily here, we can really define the resistance here, where the slope probability volatility is aggressively going down now, so we can't expect significant downward trending. Pull this back down to the 1 hour chart. Ooh, that's going to be nice. Yeah, okay. So price will trade laterally as defined by the longest over expanded period. And since on the 30-minute chart, that's really good. If we actually re-enter the 275 band here, price will trade laterally as defined by this band. And we'll actually get some pretty good short entries up here on the top edge of the band, right? It won't be that soon, but short entries on the top edge of the 275 band on the 30-minute chart are going to provide your best short entries for the longer-term downward trend on the daily chart. It's pretty clean. I like this market condition here. The beginning of longer-term downward trends are very, very nice. Now, do keep in mind that's only going to happen if the 275 pivot is crossed, right? This line right here. And that's not going to happen until this line right here is crossed. So you should not be in a long position up until here, and you should not be in a short position until a short signal is provided. Back to the comments. This is really good coffee. It's got like coconut milk in it. I'm happy. This GBP falls because of the Brexit docs. That's fine. Okay, UK delays Brexit vote. What will happen next? I mean, I wish I knew more about the whole Brexit situation. I'm very financially conservative. I do like to keep the money I earn, but I'm also rather socially liberal. It's okay. I want to live in Ayn Rand's hellscape. So, just teasing, guys. Let's not talk politics. Pen, what do you think of British pound right now, as far as trading goes? Put a little less helium in that coffee, Dad Shark. Huh, okay. Fuck you. We'll open up the processor. Come here.
There you go. You happy? Does that sound better? I used to be a music producer, so I can actually make things really cool.
But I don't know. I should probably get some like music production stuff back up. You know, there's that Dad Shark video on the channel of my actual music. And that's really, really fun. And I can also play the accordion for you guys now that I'm self-employed and can do whatever I want on my channel. I do need some non-copyrighted music for the channel, though. I guess I could just use my own. Oh, wait. Which one of these are mine? I know I have my own playlist of my own music on here. Yeah, I can actually load that up for you guys. Let's do it. Just get some background noise going. Hold on. And you're going to have to tell me how this sounds. Okay. It's probably just going to be some nice peaceful ambient stuff, so. And then I'll set up this loop right here. Cool. All right. We once again have background music. Shoot. Loop selection. Okay. There we go. Okay. Ast update would be good. It would be good. I need to do that. I mean, it's still technically a long signal, and I guess this is going to be boiling down to your risk management. And I know that's a shitty answer, but we still need to see long-term mean reversion. Like the signal. Okay, I want to do this on this template over here because it's nice. God, that is so cool. Okay, AST BTC. Give it a second to load, folks. Beautiful. Okay. Make sure it's all snapped correctly in there. Okay, 4-hour chart is too overexpanded. Yeah, this is a great reason, guys. See this huge red plume here, that's all this connected mass, is still overexpanded still. So let's go to the daily and see if we can well, I'm going to do the 12-hour. Since we don't get all that white stuff there. And I'm going to compress this a little bit more so it's a bit cleaner looking. with less gaps in it. Okay, that'll do. I'll have to tweak this more later. But for now, and I'm going to make this one a little bit smaller too. Okay. Enough of me tooling around. So we can, yeah, this is good. We have a little bit of volatility clouds here around 475, 480 period. That's not going to be too significant. And we actually have new expansion, which is a little weird. But over here, we're going to have the 220 period as our pivot for mean reversion. Okay, so same scenario with Bitcoin, guys. When we re-enter, the 220 band, we expect reversion to the 220 mean. However, we don't get our entry signal until a 200 or until a 22 period CCI rolls up. Okay, and you won't believe what's happening right now. If we get a 22 period CCI roll up, okay, right guys, get this. This price move right here, where the red arrow is, that establishes the condition, but the long signal is given to us on the CCI roll. And the CCI roll has happened once here, and it's about to happen again. Those are both potential long positions. So yeah, I'm still technically long here, because your profit ratio is... You had a 67% upside. And then your downside, I guess you should go below the local low around 6%, 7%. That's still a 10 to 1 profit ratio. And I'm all about that. Except you should already be down around 6 to 7% to begin with for entering over here when the first signal triggered. So, it's risky stuff. You gotta be careful. It matches my risk profile though, so I'm gonna stay in it. Back to the comments. Dash. Wasn't aware you were a Forex trader, Shark, branching out into new markets. I originally traded Forex before I traded crypto. I got into crypto because of Forex. Okay, apparently my picture is blocking some of the chart. Ah, so it is. There we go. Dash. Yeah, I'll do Dash. Other than that, I'm going to do Dash and then one other coin and then I'll be done for the day. Okay, for a connected plume. here on the 12-hour chart. Oh, I'm doing a USD pair. That's fine. That's just going to look the same as Bitcoin, so I'm going to do dash BTC. DSH, BTC. Much cleaner. Okay. $75. Let me guess, we should actually check the longest term pivot for mean reversion here. Man, oh man, that is a huge overexpanded period. Yeah, it's still around 540. It's actually a little bit higher than it was earlier, so that's something else. Yeah, guys. So technically our pivot for the longest term mean reversion, and most probably our point of rejection is going to be 4,000 or 5,200, and then we'll shoot straight down to the weekly mean. Okay. So my midterm prediction is going to be an upward move up to this value here, and then a full-time rejection all the way down to the weekly 200 mean, and then we will trend laterally after our trip down to the 200 weekly. Whoops. Do that there. And then we're just going to do this, until what happens? Until this pivot point comes down to meet price. Then when that price is met, we're going to have a relief rally up to the mean listed. Okay. 540 mean. And then we're going to get further rejection, retest the bottom of the band, trade laterally as defined by the longest overexpanded period. Right? Because what we need for this to work is for this largest band here to come down and compress. And for this band here to compress as well. And it's not going to be that high. I recognize that. It's probably going to be down here. Right? But as this band compresses, as soon as sufficiently compressed, mean period volatility can weight itself to the upside. Upward weighted mean period volatility starts upward trending. So yes, I don't think we're going to get a bull run through the end of the year. We're just going to get this nice lateral trading range. After that happens, well, then we're going to get a break to the upside. But bare minimum, it probably won't happen until March. We're just going to be this quick upward burst right here. Rejection, downward trending to the weekly 200 mean. While the longest overexpanded period compresses, sufficiently compressed band will finally allow for upward trending. And we can actually take a look at what this looks like on the long-term history of Bitcoin. I want to actually see what the previous crash pattern did in these terms. Diesel says, this is the keys to the kingdom. Yes, it is. Absolutely. Tools are yours, my friend. The tools are yours. Okay, this is obviously giving me trouble. Well, we're frozen. Guess we can just run away to the other template. And then I'm going to be done. Okay, BLX, come on. All right, guys. Wow, this is really nice. Okay. So Obviously, I haven't scaled the bands correctly, but this distribution is broken below. We run down. We run up and test it, right? The pivot. Actually, this is correct. This is the 200 period. So the 200 band would be the point of rejection. And we use that for the sustained downward trend. This is the same scenario that I've drawn on the other chart, guys, where we re-enter the 200 band after a significant period of downward trending. This value right here, the market bottom, that's the weekly 200 mean. And then once we re-enter the longest overexpanded period of the band, we trade laterally as defined by that period before mean period volatility weights itself to the upside at this location, which allows for sustainable upward trending. So in terms of the last crash pattern, we are actually right around here. We're the bottom edge of that wick right there. Okay, we need to have the dead cat bounce. It's going to use the longest overexpanded period as the pivot point, which it will reject off of. And get this, guys. Do you want to know where you take your long position? Right? It's going to be on the mean reversion that's closest to the pivot point of the longest overexpanded band. So, I don't know. So it's actually right there. Because the 50 band, or the 50 mean, was the closest to the pivot. So when we re-enter the 50 band, or when the 50 period CCI rolls up, that's when, at least in this particular instance, if we go ahead and look at current times, this is actually a larger overexpansion, which is kind of cool. So it's around the 248 period. And then that longest overexpanded period, well, might need to be a little bit longer. I guess over here on the daily chart, it should be around the 50. Yeah, so right now it's going to be the 50 band. That's going to be the pivot for the long. Although I guess from the 4-hour perspective, yes, we can wait for the 20 period CCI to roll up. So this suggests that we aren't ready for mean reversion, but the 4-hour does. So if you wait for the signal in the 4-hour, yes, you can have a good risk management position there. But it's best to wait, because right now we are still technically trending. When we cross the pivot, we will be not trending. Not trending is really good, because then we'll get our bounce up to this value right here for further rejection. Beautiful, guys. That's going to be pretty much it for today's live stream. I'm going to check the comments one last time. Since this is a new channel, like and subscribe. It's super helpful. What prevents us from going to 1K? The 200 weekly mean. Of course, we'll actually have to see that pivot in action. Although I've conferred with the cat with charts in the past, we agree that the lowest possible price for Bitcoin is going to be roughly around 1,900 as a possibility for what the longest overexpanded mean needs to be reverted to as, right? So, probably on the weekly here. At least from the readable data, right, it's going to be the 300 mean, and that's around 1,900. Of course, if we had more data to actually read, well, we could get a more accurate market bottom, but our look-back period is unfortunately short for Bitcoin. But the weekly 200 is an institutional benchmark, and that is what held price up. Oh, that's 275. Shoot. 200. There we go. Well, I'll be damned. We're already touching the weekly 200 mean. Yeah. Wow. I didn't realize we were already there. Huh. That would actually put us around here. Right? Our first initial test. Oh my god, that's so nice. No, we might be really close to a market bottom. So I'd probably draw something like this. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Lateral training as it compresses before new upward weighted mean period. I didn't realize we're on the weekly 200 beam. That's great. Yeah, if we go below it, yeah, we'll keep going down, and then it's no man's land. But for now, your profit ratio is huge for long positions. Of course, if we break the 200 weekly mean, if we stay in the condition of trending, you don't want to play with this. But right now, your profit ratio is insane. If you just put a long position right on the weekly 200, obviously, our percentages are really nasty down here. The profit ratios are there, my friends. As far as long-term positions for Bitcoin go, this is... I'm not going to say as good as you can get because there's always a lower low. But the 200 weekly mean is an institutional benchmark. And it does inspire buying. It doesn't mean it's going to be the bottom. It just means that it's probable that it could stop here. One last check in the comments. Hi, Gurney. We already did TRX. All right, that looks like everything. Beautiful. Well, thank you very much, my friends. That's going to be it for today. Spread the word. Send this live stream around. If we've got the key to the kingdom here, I want more people to know about it. Spread the word, my friends. Dad Shark out.